first thing I Googled when this first started happening was like professional athletes with Crohn's disease, and there wasn't any.
Lexie, thanks so much for sitting down with me today to talk about your journey to getting diagnosed with Crohn's, and I'm glad to be able to have this conversation with you as somebody who's been through that too. We can talk about what that's looked like and how we're both sitting here now, feeling good and having successful seasons.
Being the Crohn's girl.
You're battling a disease that nobody can see. It's an injury nobody can see. During that time, did you deal with feeling like nobody's gonna believe me? Like nobody can see this, nobody can feel this pain. There's no like physical thing I can show anybody to say like, look how bad I hurt, or like, look how bad this is.
Yeah, I've never really shared this with anybody outside of like my close circle. Is like going to the bathroom for me was like traumatizing.
Yeah.
Like it was like some of the most painful bathroom trips I've ever had in my life. This started to get like really bad like on game days. Very last one that I played, which was in Dallas, we had an early game, a noon game. So that traumatic bathroom trip happened at the gym. Oh. And I was like, we were like in our huddle, and I like jumped up and sprinted to the bathroom. And the whole team, like the way the Dallas lockers are, it's like the bathrooms are open.
No,
so the whole team was like, Lexie, what is happening? I said, guys, please just go. Like I will be out when I can. Played that game. Don't know how I played that game. I was in so much pain. If I can like find any clips of me running during that game, it was running like I had like something stuck inside of me, like I was moving very gingerly a lot. Thankfully, we were able to fly home that night because we had a noon game. The next day, I was in surgery for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why did you have to have such a immediate surgery? Was it the symptoms were alarming?
It was the symptoms, and then I just had a lot of pockets of bacteria in my body, and she said that like I was very close to going septic, which is why I was so tired. Because I had an infection. So like we haven't even gotten to the Crohn's yet. So like now we're addressing all this bacteria that is gathered in my body that it could potentially get into my bloodstream, and she just needed to drain it all out immediately, and then that's why I had to go into surgery like the next day.
There was no workout, there was no regimen, there was no time you could put in to correct the thing that took basketball away from you.
Right, and I think that's the conversation I finally had with my surgeon, after we got to know each other a little bit more. She realized how my mind was working when it came to getting back on the court. And she just simply told me like, your body won't rest until you allow it to. And then that's when I decided to shut it down for the season, which was like one of the hardest decisions I had to make because I was playing so well. Yeah. And it was like, I think a pivotal point in my career in the W that I was having, and it was just like snatched from me. But I'm back. Like I didn't think I was gonna be able to be healthy enough for AU. Like I didn't get back on the court till after New Year's. So the sparks all obviously were like, take your time. But it's like I felt like there was a spot that I was gonna have to earn again in LA. So for them to give me that 2-year extension that I've worked so hard for in the midst of all of this, like meant everything to me. And people, like, I don't think they realize, like, that's always been my goal. Like, I don't think I'm ever gonna be like one of the chosen ones in the W, like, and that's why AU is so important to me, because we're building something special and I've been a part of it since the beginning. So I think when it comes to basketball, this basketball stuff, I'm gonna be more remembered for what I did with Athletes Unlimited than what I did in the W. And Athletes Unlimited didn't exist when I was growing up or when I was in college. So, having this league like changed my life, and it's allowed me to get back healthy and get back to the level of play. I think I'm actually playing better now than I was playing last summer.
Wow. Did you have a period where you thought, I don't know if I'm going to come back to basketball?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I went to the gym in my apartment. I forgot when it was, probably after one of my second surgery maybe, and I tried to do squats with a dumbbell, like a 30-pound dumbbell, and I couldn't do more than 5. And I tried to do split squats with 15-pound weights, and I couldn't do them. and I just started crying in the middle of the gym. I think that was a really hard moment for me, was like, I have a lot of work to do. But it actually ended up not being as hard as I thought it was going to be to get back to like my playing self.
Yeah.
But I did see like a lot of outlets and fans like inquiring about what was going on, you know, making guesses and assumptions about what was going on. And honestly, I would have probably like said something publicly, but I didn't know what was happening.
What was wrong yet.
That's not something that is valid enough of an explanation to why I like just vanished from the bench, from practices, from everything.
That whole process of everybody interjecting their opinion about what they thought was wrong with you while you were still trying to get answers. It all just comes back to, I feel like, how often we say, like, you never know what somebody is going through.
No, you really have no idea what people are dealing with. Me and my family were like, you don't have Crohn's. Like, you don't have Crohn's. You don't have Crohn's.
It's the last thing you want.
Yeah. There was like a really, really small part of me that was like, okay, like, maybe it is Crohn's. I hope it is Crohn's. So now we can like deal with it instead of me just being at home, like just sitting in my bed, hoping that like I have a good day today.
How do you feel about this version now?
I like her. She's still like very private and still works really hard, but like she's really at peace with herself. And like this is really the first time I've talked about it around like not my like close circle. And I feel like really good about it because I'm like, it's just what I deal with now.
Yeah.
And obviously I'm doing well, and that's like the most important thing, is like that I'm doing well mentally, physically, like, but it was a long road to get here. You know, when I was talking to Megan and John, and I was just like, I want to be involved this season in any way, shape, or form, like preferably as a player, but like I still want to be like very much involved. So to come here and feel the way that I feel and be the teams that I've been on has been so amazing. And it has not affected how I've been playing this season. And like that was what I wanted. Like I didn't want to be in and out, minutes restriction the whole time. So like it's actually like just, it's played out like almost perfectly. I'm in the top 10, which is cool. Last year I didn't even finish top 10, which is crazy.
When you think about now of this is your cause this season of playing for the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation based out of LA, and now talking about it openly, this journey, getting diagnosed, what that looks like, what do you hope people who have, you know, an IBD or, you know, other autoimmune diseases kind of take away from this? Because I don't see Crohn's talked about a lot.
No. And I thought it was like specifically for like old people. Like I thought it was like an old person issue. So, I mean, the first thing I Googled when this first started happening was like, professional athletes with Crohn's disease, and there wasn't any.
There's Larry Nance Jr. with the Pelicans.
Yeah, and he's the only basketball player. The rest were like, there was like a swimmer on there, I think. Yeah, so like no no women's basketball players either. But I'm just like, I mean, that we know of. Right. I mean, people could be dealing with these things and they don't know what to do. They're embarrassed to ask. They're embarrassed to talk about it. And then just, you know, hoping that I can like open up a dialogue about it, you know, build a community that's not on Reddit, maybe. Yeah. Athletes or people who like just are really into fitness, or kids, you know, college. Like I can't even imagine dealing with this in like college or something like that. I'm just hoping that like I can be somebody that people can look to and be like, okay, like she is dealing with it. Like I just don't want people to feel so like embarrassed about it, because I definitely was very embarrassed when like this first started happening.
Me too. It took me a long time to tell everybody in this room that I had Crohn's.
But then when you say it, people are like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. But I'm like, you don't even know what Crohn's is.
No. And then the more people I have told, the more comfortable I've been in owning what that means and admitting that there are going to be days where I'm not on. And you know what that feels like, having to be ready for a game and be a performer. It's very similar for having to be ready for a game and talking about it on TV and being your best and sounding your best and looking your best. Yeah. And for me to be, for the first time, to own up and say, my best is going to look differently today. I wish there's somebody that could have told me, Savanna, that'll be fine.
Yeah.
And everybody will still love you and still think that you're good at your job. The same thing that you went through with the sparks and coming here and knowing that people will still love me and want me and care about me as a player and person,
right.
even if it looks a little different today than it normally does.
Yeah.